Why is narcissistic abuse largely invisible? Why does it go unseen? Why can't people see it? And this is the reason why, one of the reasons why it's so insidious. It's so insidious because it's so invisible. There's a couple of reasons for this. Narcissists, in a way, are all on the same team. They're all on Team Narc. In another way, they're all on different teams, and they represent different values. But could be, I think, kind of categorized in two different ways. Half the narcs are working sort of towards the more female perspective. The other half are working towards more of the male perspective. That's an incredibly large oversimplification of it, but just for the purposes of this idea, just follow me on this. If there were two different sides to narcs, two different narc teams, if you will, then you would have, naturally, some people who were on one team and some people who were not. And some people that were on a certain team would not be narcs. They would be flying monkeys. But flying monkeys, it's so easy to be a flying monkey without realizing it. So the reason that narcissistic abuse is so invisible is there isn't any way for me or you, unless we are careful and objective and able to basically split hairs and see the narcissism of both sides, or all sides of any issue. There's no way we can see the narcissistic abuse because we have a vested interest in a particular version of reality. This is why narcissists are so powerful. They play on your narcissism. They play on your natural narcissism. They get you to, if they sense that you're falling away from their support, they begin to play on your narcissism, love bombing, whatever you want to call it. You're so great, you're this. This is how they win you back to their side. I might meet a narcissist, if I'm not aware of narcissistic abuse and I haven't been in that situation, who I feel like, yes, this person gets it. This person gets me. They totally understand, like they're totally with me. They understand, if only we could beat the other narc team, then it would all be solved. But the problem is they're both on the same team. They seem to be on different teams, but they're both on Team Narc. And then the real narcissist is really within than you. So that's the reason it's so invisible, is because it's illusory. It's illusory. You don't realize it's happening. It's the same tactic that fascists use. They say, like, first they came for the communists, blah, 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 then they came for... I didn't say anything because I wasn't a communist. If you agree with one particular version of narc philosophy or narc propagation, you agree with all of them, but you don't realize that. The only way to see things objectively is to be objective and point out the flaws in all logic, not just the logic that disagrees with your own natural inclinations. If I believe in a winning team, then I'm willing to, on some level, if I really want it badly enough, to let that team cheat in order to win. I don't care, because I just want them to win. Gives me a happy feeling. So if you want to be objective, you have to be objective about both sides, all teams. So it's invisible because it's hidden from the world. It's tucked away in the houses. It's tucked away in the workplaces, in the private areas. And people want to believe, if they get invested in a particular narcissistic narrative that benefits them, they want to continue to believe it. So they have a vested interest in not believing you when you say, this person's abusing me. I don't believe it. They seem nice. They're nice to me. They seem to be on my team. They know exactly who my enemies are, right? They're going to destroy my enemies. Well, no, they're not. It's a con game. They convince you that they're on your team, but they're not. So, in order to see the hypocrisy, in order to see the abuse, you have to see the hypocrisy, and in order to see the hypocrisy, you have to be objective in this really, really precise way in order to see through both sides. Otherwise, you'll start to fall in love with one particular side, and you'll lose your objectivity. So that's, I think, partially why this type of abuse is so invisible, and also why it's so insidious, because of how invisible it is.